One concern that people have about ChatGPT is that it can be used to automate a lot of tasks that are currently done by humans and replace a lot of jobs.
You're fired.
This is caused, as usual, by panic created by news headlines. Some jobs that are often named to be at risk include legal jobs such as paralegal, legal assistant, research analysts, teachers, finance jobs like financial advisors, graphic designers, accountants, and of course, customer service agents. So what about your job? Is your job safe from ChatGPT and other AI technologies? Well, some of the most low-tiered, low-skilled jobs are likely to be replaced. It's not that simple. In this video, I'll walk you through a test that can help you find out whether or not your particular job is safe from ChatGPT or not. And just in case your job is at threat, I will also share with you how you can future-proof your career. After watching this video, some of you might think that it's time to change your job or even your career. And in that case, Career Fitter's career test can help you find a career that suits you better. I recently took their online career test and found their results to be quite eye-opening. It helped me understand not only my personality but also my work personality better. It helped me make sense why working as a content creator really suited me. There's a free test that you can do that will analyze your personality, and if you want a more thorough report, you can upgrade to the premium report, which gives you details about your work personality. If you find it difficult to decide what career to pursue, this career test will give you a list of careers that might be suitable for you, along with salary range and education requirements for that career. It also includes what's called an A3 assessment, which reveals your aptitudes and aversions. It will highlight careers that have potential conflicts with your personality. There's also a really interesting and fun section that shows which celebrities have a similar work personality as you. Who would have thought that I and Denzel Washington have something in common when it comes to work? If you also want to take the test to understand your work personality better and what careers might suit you, then I'll leave the link down below for you. So thank you again, Career Fitter, for sponsoring a portion of this video. Now let's go on and find out whether or not your job is safe. Question 1 to figure out whether or not ChatGPT is a threat to your job and whether or not it will put you out of your job pretty soon is to ask, what capabilities does ChatGPT actually have? ChatGPT can write anything from a poem, an essay, or an analysis. If you just wrote a report and just found it a bit dull, you can ask ChatGPT to write it in a more persuasive and inspiring way, like this. Wow. Okay. It can translate languages, summarize findings, and instead of you browsing through endless pages of Google to arrive at an answer that is useful to you, ChatGPT can give you a high-level summary of everything it found on the web or a detailed summary if you need one in a matter of seconds. How can you compete with that? And it can also answer questions, but it does have its limitations. Apart from answering really easy questions, it does oftentimes take me a few rounds of asking ChatGPT questions until I arrive at an answer that is useful to me. In other words, the quality of the output that ChatGPT gives you depends largely on the quality of your questions. ChatGPT obviously can only process information that is already out there on the web. It doesn't have access or insight into human brains unless that human brain has already expressed its ideas, its knowledge on the web in form of a video, a blog post, unless later on we have neural link and ChatGPT somehow finds a way to connect directly to human brains and sap the information from all of us. That would be a scary scenario, right? In that case, you better make sure that your privacy settings are correct. But I must say that ChatGPT is quite a good copywriter. I used ChatGPT in the final stages of finishing my book that I'm about to launch, and I was just amazed how it was able to improve the quality of my writing. No clumsy robot language, but smooth human-like communication, thanks to NLP or natural language processing that it is built on. ChatGPT actually talks like a human.
That's not a foundation on which friendships are based.
And it's a bit scary, I must say. If you spend too much time with ChatGPT, after a while it can actually really feel as though you're chatting with a real human being. And that can actually feel kind of crazy, I think. But overall, I would say that ChatGPT is a win for humanity because it can make our lives much easier. It can make our work easier and help us work much faster. Newer models like GPT-4 are even much more sophisticated and can even accept images as input as opposed to just text. Let's move on to question number 2 that you need to answer to find out whether or not ChatGPT will take your job, which is, what does your job actually entail? Now try and break down your job into its components. It can be anywhere from 3, 4, 20, or even more job components. And then ask yourself, how many of these job components can be replaced by ChatGPT now? Perhaps it's just 1 out of 10, and in that case, congrats, your job is definitely among the safe ones. Or perhaps it's closer to 4 out of 10, and in the worst case, ChatGPT is able to take over 8 out of 10 of your job components. In that case, it's really time to look for a new career. I believe that there are very few jobs that can be completely taken over by ChatGPT, but what could happen is a reduction in headcount. If previously in your team there were, let's say, 5 people who were hired to do a particular role, now with the advent of ChatGPT and other more advanced AI technologies, perhaps that headcount will be reduced to 4 people, while ChatGPT and other AI technologies will be taking on the rest of the workload. So if there are 3 or 5 people just like you performing a similar role, and if you happen to be a bottom performer, then you will be subtracted from the mix pretty fast. Whether or not your job will be eliminated by ChatGPT or whether it's at threat, the important thing is to not get stuck and just obsess about that one job that you have right now. Take a step back, take a bird's eye view, and ask yourself, how can you future-proof your career? What do you need to do? The first thing you need to do to future-proof your career is to find a job or a career that requires a lot of coordination and that has a lot of missing links. While ChatGPT is really good at producing and analyzing text, what it cannot do is to coordinate tasks between multiple people that take place in multiple locations and that require the integration of multiple platforms. If you've ever worked on a project before, then you know that it's not as simple as just pushing email and information. There are a lot of moving parts and many tasks even require your physical presence. Let's take the example of an interior designer. ChatGPT or a more advanced version of it might be able to draw a design or a layout, but unless it can coordinate with contractors and monitor the project on the ground, presenting the result to the client, interior designers are still needed. Between each of these processes is a missing link which AI cannot fulfill, at least not now. And the more missing links a workflow has, the safer your job is. Now let's go on to the next thing that you can do to future-proof your career, which is to look for a job or a career that requires a lot of interpersonal communication and also strengthen your communication skills. Communication is not just about data flow. If you work in a team, and especially if you're leading a team, then you need to be able to inspire trust and communicate in a trustworthy and persuasive way. ChatGPT could regurgitate the 2023 annual sales forecast, but so what? If it's not communicated to a team, stakeholders in a persuasive way, it doesn't do much. It's just a dry piece of text. ChatGPT can also not negotiate. Certainly, you could use it to write materials for you to negotiate, but negotiation has always and will always take place between human beings. And also, if conflict ever arises within a team, ChatGPT will also not be of much help as a mediator. So if you secure yourself a job that is in the managerial ranks, if you manage a team, or if you work in a career that deals with human and emotional problems, then your job is relatively safe. Let's go on to the third thing that you can do to future-proof your career. Look for a job or a career where the customers or the clients or the coworkers appreciate the presence of a human being. When you go to McDonald's, you're likely fine to just order something from a screen. When you go to a fine dining restaurant, however, you will likely want a human waiter. When you buy butter, you don't care if a robot or a drone delivers it to you. But when you buy a piece of art, I'm pretty sure that most people still prefer for it to have been created by another human being. Even though AI technologies can make art, if you can call that art, many people will still appreciate art crafts for the fact that it was made by human beings. In theory, when you're feeling down and depressed, you could also just go to ChatGPT and say, okay, I feel really down, life sucks, what should I do? And I'm pretty sure that ChatGPT will be able to give you a ton of good suggestions for what to do. And some people might even like this way of anonymously talking to a chatbot. But I would say that most people would still prefer to have a human being behind the application, or even better, meet someone in person, because they might not totally trust that chatbot or a software application. So to future-proof your career, look for a job or start a career that requires a lot of coordination and has a lot of missing links and that requires your physical presence, a career in which a lot of interpersonal communication is needed, and one in which you are highly appreciated and valued exactly for the fact that you are a human being made of flesh and blood and not a robot. And now here's a global scenario in which all of these things I talked about just don't matter anymore. And that's when we actually get to a point where humans do not work at all anymore, where we are living in a society, in an economy that is so flourishing, where all the work is done by robots and AI. In that situation, you might say, ChatGPT, AI, go ahead, just take my job, I don't care. And now I want to share with you a really good quote that sums up everything. And it's from this awesome book titled "The Robots Are Coming, The Future of Jobs in the Age of Automation" by Andreas Oppenheimer. So in this book, there's a really insightful quote that will change your perspective on the whole AI thing. And it's by Anders Sandberg, a PhD in computational neurosciences, who said, "It's quite simple. If your job can be easily explained, it can be automated. If it can't, it won't." In other words, algorithms and robots are better than humans at doing repetitive, predictable tasks. An algorithm learns the same way a child does based on examples or behaviors that are taught. If you can show another person a detailed list of the tasks he or she performs, and if most of these tasks are relatively predictable, sooner or later that job will be replaced by an algorithm or a robot. And to take it one step further, just about every job has at least a few chores that will end up being automated. So what do you think? Do you think that your job, your current career, is safe from ChatGPT and other advancing AI technologies? Are you in the right career now, or is it perhaps time to redefine your career? If that's the case, and if you're currently trying to switch careers, pivot into something else, then my upcoming book, Multiple Careers, Quit the Rat Race, Pursue Fulfilling Work, might be able to help you. My Kindle book will be out pretty soon, in a few weeks actually, on Amazon. So in case you want to stay updated on that and also not miss out on any of my future videos, then make sure that you subscribe, and in that case also don't forget to hit the notification bell and set it to all notifications. That way YouTube will notify you each and every time there's a new video from me. As always, thank you so much guys for watching. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next video.